Hello, fellow humans. Chris here again. So today I wanted to talk about a couple of things. Um, First off, some good news. In my opinion, anyway, it's good news. My alma mater, San Francisco State University, has started a program with Project Rebound, which they've actually been in partnership with for a long time, since the 60s, but been recently kind of revamped to now include currently incarcerated people. How it's been is it's provides education to people who have just been recently released, but now it extends to people who are currently incarcerated. And this started just last semester. They had 30 students go through it, and they have a 12-unit ethnic studies program that they're starting up. So I think it's great. I think that obviously being educated, I think, helps to curb the chances of committing crimes in the first place. And I think that if you're going to get out, uh, being educated before you get out and subsequent to it as well is only going to help your chances at rehabbing and getting a second chance at life, and hopefully giving back with your second chance to the community by taking your new skill set and implementing it. And I think that's pretty common sense approach to that. I know that there are people that are against this sort of thing. You see similar sentiment with things like the firefighting program we have here in California, where we actually use people who are incarcerated to help out with the fires. They get trained as a firefighter, and then when they do get released, they get gainful employment with the fire department. And there are people who are against this as well, against the idea that they could be put ahead of line of other people who are trying to get in. And I've had this conversation about, well, you still have to make it on merit as well, but neither here nor there. My point is that I think that these sorts of programs are good. I think we need more of it. I think that, you know, we should try to not be a country of vindictiveness and try to be more of a country of uplifting. Now, obviously, there are certain crimes that are irredeemable from society's standards, and they're not going to come back into normal society. But I'm talking about people that are going to get a second shot at life. So I think that that's good. I think that we should try to be a nation of rehabilitation as opposed to purely vindictiveness. Anyway, I wanted to talk about that, and also it kind of segued into something else that I wanted to talk about. I've kind of been wanting to talk about for a little while, but I didn't necessarily have the context for it. But I recently got a comment on one of my more popular videos. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. It may be the reason why you're subbed to my channel, though. So, a video that I did about this guy, Contrarian Dude, and his response to Beau, the Fifth Column. I have gotten a lot of comments on that video and a couple other videos that have references to Beau of the Fifth Column. And I'll just read this one that I just got because it's kind of representative of the sentiment of a lot of these comments. So basically, this one said, "Beau is intelligent, big channel, big income. He also curates a YouTube echo chamber. At the end of the day, he is an ex-con in his shed. Full stop." And then he goes ... which kind of defeats the purpose of the full stop, because the full stop is supposed to be like sort of an exclamation, declarative statement, point to the end of your statement. So anyway, notwithstanding that point, I replied back just simply, "Do you believe in second chances?" And that's typically what I say if I do respond at all. There's this logical fallacy in arguments called the ad hominem attack, which is simply going after someone's character or going after someone in a personal way to refute their arguments. And I always say the messenger doesn't matter. It's the message that matters. And we as students of the world and of life and of reality, we have a responsibility to take the information that we're given and kind of go through it and pick it apart and find out what's true and maybe what's not. The idea that Beau of the Fifth Column, aka Justin King, was convicted of something one time 13 years ago defines who he is. It really says more about the person that leaves a comment like that than it does about Beau of the Fifth Column. There is a trend that I see with this sort of sentiment. People who go after character like that above the message itself, they use the person's full and real name. So in this context, it's Justin King. They did a similar thing with Barack Obama, where they would say Barack Hussein Obama. And clearly, you know why they're using the full name. With Justin King, it's not really a secret or a mystery that's his name. I mean, he literally he's opened up about his past, and his real name being Justin King is not hard to find out. It doesn't take any kind of super skilled researching or anything like that. I get these comments that are like, "Oh, I have all this information on how horrible he is and all these things he did," and at the end of the day, he helped smuggle some aliens into the country, people who were trying to get a better life for themselves, people who were suffering where they were. So, I gotta say, if I'm gonna judge somebody for being an ex-con, or maybe put it a better way, if I'm going to befriend somebody, if I'm going to look up to somebody, if I'm going to start my own YouTube channel because of somebody else's influence and somebody else's ability to put into words the things that I already felt, the thoughts that I have in a way that is so eloquent and direct that anybody can understand if they listen to the message as opposed to just going after the character of the messenger. If I were going to follow somebody like that who was an ex-con, I would say that somebody smuggling aliens into the country would probably be at the top of that list, as far as felonies go. and to the point of an ex-con in his shed. Well, here, I just wanted to show something really quick here. So you're gonna escape. They're gonna escape. Got my microphone here. Okay. There's the secret. This is a secret. Right there. Just let the curtain down there. Hey, my mic dropped. There. Just a quick dose of reality. Yeah, I'm in my garage. That's where I record my videos. It's not really it's not really important where we are, who we are, where we came from, what's in our past. It's about the message. It's about the intent at unifying and finding common ground with people and making things better for as many people as possible, or as Beau would put it, doing as much as you can for as long as you can. I know he says it a little more elaborately than that, but to that point, So I felt like this tied in with the San Francisco State story a little bit, just because it's the idea that your past doesn't have to define you. Um, if you've made mistakes in the past, that shouldn't mean that you have to have that held against you for the rest of your life. And for somebody like Beau of the Fifth Column in particular, who, I mean, he puts it all out there. Every time he hits 100,000 subscribers, he does a live video where he kind of delves more deeply into something, and he's talked about it. If you actually go to I think it's the 100,000 subscriber video, he talks in more detail about his past. He's very open about it. It's not like he tries to hide it. So the idea that people talk about it as if they're like uncovering something, as if they're, pulling the curtain back on the illusion, uh, it's just kind of juvenile and lazy, to be honest. And I just would kind of hope that we had a little bit more substance to our argument than that. And to the point about the echo chamber, I don't really think with somebody like Beau of the Fifth Column, I don't think he's talking to an echo chamber. If you look at the response he gets in the negative, like this fellow, for example, if you look at some of the messages that he shares from people who take issue with something that he says, I mean, he's speaking to people who don't agree with him too. But he's also spoken to a lot of people that used to not agree with him, and now they do. Because, again, he has a way of explaining things that makes it kind of hard to argue. If you're educated on the subject, it can become difficult to argue. Because when you're dealing with reality, there's not a lot of... It becomes an ad hominem attack, because all you really have is just going after the character, going after his past, and there's not a lot of substance to it. So anyway, just wanted to share that. I didn't have a whole script for this episode. I just kind of wanted to talk on that a little bit. As I've said before, this was initially a podcast, and a friend of mine got me to consider doing YouTube, and then he told me about Beau the Fifth Column. So I started watching him, and initially I actually had concerns because I found out that his real name was Justin King, and then I saw some of these messages on Reddit and things like that about him having this secret agenda, and talked to my friend about it, and he said no, he's cool. And the more I read into it and the more I looked at Beau's videos himself, him talking about it, I realized that now this guy's pretty much of an open book, I think, and he's pretty real talk kind of guy, and that's what I like about him. And that was really the main thing that got me to take this plunge myself and do a little YouTube channel, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. So I appreciate you all for being here. I will check in with you all again very soon. Have a great rest of your day, and remember, don't be afraid to question the consensus.